All right, good morning, everyone. It is Monday, June 15th, and the time is 5:50 a.m. We do have quite a bit to talk about as we are going to be entering a very active period of severe weather once again, after getting off a very busy week of severe weather just last week. Um, just yesterday, we did have 410 severe reports here across the Northeast. We had 396 wind reports, 5 tornado reports, and 9 hail reports here. Um, Over here in the Northeast. Today we do have a marginal risk here in the panhandle of Texas over here into New Mexico. Tomorrow we have a decent sized marginal risk of severe weather here across Illinois, Michigan, portions of Ohio, and into Indiana as well. This does include a small 2% tornado risk here. I could see this getting upgraded to a 5% risk here. I do think there is a uh, sneaky tornado probability tomorrow. That is definitely on the table here in northern Indiana. But the main story is going to be this here. Day 3, we have an enhanced risk across Illinois, extreme portions of southern Iowa, Missouri, and into Indiana. I could see this entire region that's currently outlined in yellow becoming the orange, and then having a level 4 out of 5 introduced in this region. I could see that happening as early as this afternoon or even the overnight update from the SPC, because I do think we're going to have a large scale significant tornado outbreak across this region here, and I'm going to show you guys why. And these are the probabilities for Wednesday. Notice we do have a significant hatched region here for 30% probabilities of severe weather here for the entire central Illinois, central Indiana, back into Missouri. The CSU MLP, this is basically just an AI model um, looking over the different models and basically putting out its own little outlook here. And it does have not only does it have a 30% risk here across the same region, but it also introduces a 45% risk here across portions of western Illinois and into Missouri, with the focal point being Missouri. I do think the focal point is going to be central Illinois back into Missouri. And once again, I could see a level 4 out of 5 being introduced as early as probably this afternoon. So this is the 500 millibar winds across this region here, and this is why I'm so concerned about Wednesday here. So as we move forward here, this is tomorrow morning here. Notice we just kind of have these winds out of the basically due west, and as we continue to move forward here, this is tomorrow evening into the overnight hours. But notice Wednesday morning, the upper level winds here at the 500 millibar level kind of weaken a little bit. This is 15Z tomorrow, or 15Z Wednesday morning, excuse me. Um, but notice as we get into the afternoon, these winds strengthen significantly. And I want you to remember the direction these winds are going here. This is the 500 millibar level. For example, right here we have about 70 knots, 70 knots of wind out of the due west. And if we go over to the exact same time frame here, let's go to about 18Z on Wednesday. This is at the 500 millibar level. Notice that we have pretty much the same thing. We have 70 knots here, but this is more out of the southwest here, kind of more of a southwesterly flow at the 700 millibar level. And then if we go to the 850 millibar level here, notice that this is crazy here. Notice once again Wednesday morning, there's just it's very low level winds are pretty less significant as far as, when we move into the afternoon on Wednesday. Just notice how quickly this ramps up. This is Wednesday morning, and then by Wednesday afternoon we go from nothing to having this entire pass here of 50 to 60 knots here of just straight wind out of the southwest. And notice these are almost completely southwest here, at the 850 millibar level. So what we're seeing is a turning of wind with height. Once again, at the 500 millibar level, it was due west. The 700 millibar, it was slightly southwest, and then now we're at the 850 millibar level, where we are due southwest here. Now I want to go down to the low levels, the 925 millibar winds, and let's see what we're looking at here. And this is okay. So this is Wednesday afternoon, about noon. So we have winds almost exactly out of the south. They do become more southwest orientated, but just notice that these upper level winds here are just kind of insane for this time of the year. I mean, it's kind of impossible to not have some form of severe weather in an environment like this. This is going to be the supercell composite, and this is the latest GFS model run here. I think it is underdoing these numbers here, so it's showing. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, it's showing very elevated numbers here across portions of Missouri and into Illinois. Can't remember the last time I've seen numbers this high, but I want to go ahead and pull a sounding over here. And just notice the curvature in these photographs. I do want to go a little bit further off to the east here, because this profile here does not have a whole lot of wind shear. So it does look like portions of central Illinois will have more favorable wind shear, and you can kind of see that on this sounding here, as well. And I do think that central Illinois will have the greater potential of tornadoes. And some of these Cape values are kind of insane in this environment as well. Here is a sounding from western Illinois. We are seeing a PDS tornado sounding on this particular one here. And this is showing 4,000 Cape. 4,000 Cape in this environment is kind of insane. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid a tornado outbreak in something, when you have that much Cape. I do want to go ahead and look at the moisture and see what we're working with here as far as moisture values here. And this is tomorrow evening. I do think with this little access of 60-degree dew points extending into southwestern Michigan, we could see a brief isolated tornado threat here across portions of northern Indiana into southern portions of Michigan. But obviously the main focus is going to be Wednesday. This is Wednesday afternoon, and Wednesday evening. I mean, mid to upper 70s dew points. I mean, this is insane. You get that in this environment, we're bound to have strong tornadoes. I mean, even if this organizes into an MCS or like a a more linear setup, the amount of embedded tornadoes that could be possible in a system like that in this environment, you can't let your guard down just because of uncertainty with storm mode. I mean, everything is there, it's on the table. And some of these soundings are just insane. Portions of northern Missouri, I mean, we're seeing almost 80-degree dew points here. I do want to go over and look at the surface-based Cape. I know there has been some concerns with the amount of Cape we're actually going to be seeing in this environment. Could that lead to limitations on the northern end of this? Yes. But obviously, a lot of these factors we're not going to know until last minute. But obviously, the greater instability access is going to be centered over Missouri. But we're still seeing, over 2,000 joules per kilogram of Cape here in Illinois. And that is more than enough in an environment like this. Obviously, we have a 9, like a sub 990 millibar low pressure system with a trailing cold front, so the lifting and forcing mechanism is there. It's not going to take a whole lot to get storms going out here in this open warm sector here. I do think central Illinois is going to be the main focal point for severe weather. And going back to the day 3 outlook here, we obviously have this enhanced risk for now. But once again, I do think this could get upgraded once or twice. I'm not saying there's going to be a high risk, but I'm saying this is one of the more confident times we've had for significant severe weather. I do think a full-blown tornado outbreak is on the table if these model trends continue. Obviously, you want to check back in with this channel here, as I'm going to be posting multiple updates here. The Storm Prediction Center will have a updated outlook for this, I believe by 12:30 this afternoon, and then they will obviously have the overnight update as well, basically where they're going to reevaluate the environment and possibly upgrade this risk here, or kind of move it around depending on different variables such as the warm front. But it's important to stay tuned to this, because this could be changing big time, whether it's upgrading or downgrading or moving wherever. Other than that, that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe out there. It's going to be a very active week this week.